Well, I will tell y'all, since the recording of the last video, the lady's been by to pick up her nativity figures, as I mentioned in the last video, and so we've gotten that taken care of, and she's already paid, so we can currently take care of the little work like this now, and got just a few more things to do to finish carving out Grandfather Frost. I do need to make mention that there's a little line we're going to cut right about the front of the brim of the hat. That's how that is going to come about. And so, just to make it so we can see the little things come in, it's going to be a little work that's going to try and make its way along to us. And as for the way it's going to be, finally we're coming down to making it up right up at the very top of the hat. And so that's the work we got right there. It did kind of chip the wood a little bit when we did that, but we're going to take other little steps. We're going to carve a line all around the brim, and this is how it's going to be. Finally, little places we cut in line, make it so we see a little work come through in us and through us and all, to see just little things, how they're going to come and go. I will say up front that I've worked in a place where so much has gone on for so long a time. It's getting to be a moment where, with all my craft supplies coming and going, feel like I'm pretty much getting my expenses caught up now, getting my sales caught up with my business expenditures, trying to get my best about that done. And so we've kind of got a hard wood in our hands, and so that's why we come along these little lines here to make it come out the best way we can. And so as we carve along, we're going to make it so it's like this, and put a little extra time and work into our hands for all we do. And this is how we come along. Make out old Grandfather Frost the way he comes to be. Make old Grandfather Frost come out the way he needs to be. So there, we got that. Take care of that part of the hat. And so I say the work is fine. The work is doing it. The work is coming along. And for how this shall be, I say this is going to be the very same little step we're going to take on this other Grandfather Frost as well. Try to carve a little line into him, make it so it's going to be just like it needs to be. Try to work a little into him so it's going to be just as it ought to be. And so it's going to come down to being a little bit of work that's going to find its way right down to us. And so the work is coming, the work is going, the work is taking its way to us. See what we do, see what we can be. And so in my life, I tell y'all, I've worked so much, done so much, and as of now, it's time to get through the man. So I say it's been a lot to pay just to go through this work, but we make it through it all right. And then there's little places along the back of this figure we've kind of got to make other little cuts and marks as well. So as we go along on this, you'll note there's a little place in the back of the hat where we make an additional V cut with the gouge. And so as of the way this Santa's going to come, it's going to make it so we're going to see a little ways about this, and come the ways we need it to be, it is so that it makes its way to us to become all that it is going to be when it all comes down to being the final work. It's all going to be so good in the end. Make it so it's going to brighten us in. Make it so we all can see the very thing in the end that it is going to be. Oh, think about the days. Think about our old ways. And seeing how we work our ways into our things and work our ways into all we do. I tell y'all, this is a good old Santa here, making its way to us, making its way so we see the little things that make the light of day. I will say, for this moment, we're going to make the same little cuts along the other one as well. Let you all see the progress that's come along on this one. And so, for the work that we're going to do, make a little cut. Let's say this is a time when we all got to do a little work in us, make us all see how happy we can be. Oh, and I say, so good to know that your skills improve over time, making it so you see better ways about things. And I've known in my life some people, who I've been friends with in different places and at different times. I think some of the best ones I've found in life, found very recently. It's all just a matter of good opportunity of things that we do, make it so we brighten the lives of those who know us, those around us, those who see us, and things that come this way make us so we can see a little better days in us. And so this little work shall come the way it does. And so by a little power in us and by our might in us, we might make it a longer way than you and I could ever know. Oh, the work. It's just a powerful thing. Make it so we see everything that goes good. Oh, and I think about the things it takes just to make business go, just to make business last, and see it's just the little things we note in life. And I'm gonna try to get this a little further along here. And now you see we got the progress done on this one as well. Probably got little places where we need to put a little bit more work into the back here. Make it so we see a little light in us, a little light in our work, and brighten us up day by day and for every moment that shall pass us by. Oh, carving along the back of the frost man. Just the things we're gonna note in our lives when we take away all the guilt and shame of something not so well done. And so this is how we're getting along. Fine. And I'll say there's other little steps we take further on. Perhaps we can get a moment to trim up the shoulders right below the hat, right below the brim. We've got shoulders to trim. We've got shoulders to do. And this is how Old Frost is going to become, as of all the things we see to us that Old Frost will be. And this work shall guide its way into us. Make it so we can brighten our lives so much more. I say we're working on the shoulders here, making it so they're coming out so much better, and finally come down to where we're going to see it for what it's going to be. Finally got one shoulder carved in. I think I'm going to work on the other one too. And this old thing, it just brings back the memories of some of those first Santas I carved. Many of them, I'd say, they've already gone out as gifts or they've already been sold, and they've all had different destinations they've been to in life, different places for different purposes and different things in different ways. But I'd say is for a little work like this we do, we're showing ourselves we got a little power work in us, and seeing how old Grandfather Frost is going to come about, I say this carving time is all the best it's going to be to us. And so, as we work along, we see a little thing where, as for this work, you see, we do a little thing and finally we will draw down the elbows now, make it so it's going to be the best thing that we can see it be, and then finally come down to a little work and see the things we need to see in it. So all we do, I tell y'all, there's how it's come out so far. I think I will take the same little step along this other one as well, and from what I'm seeing, there may even end up being a few more lines that will need to be drawn along, but that'll be something that in its very own good little time we're going to take care of that as well. And these days, you know, think about all the places I miss, all the people I miss, all the things I miss, and all the good old places I'd like to be, all the friends I've made that haven't seen me in forever. And so this is a good piece of final work to do, make it so we find little strange things in our lives and make it to where we can always find a little joy in our work sometimes. As for a little work that we do along the way, finally come down to make it to where it will stay. There have been many biographies and many historical stories I've seen on the internet and seen on TV, and of all the things we find out in life, we know that there's a lot of good we do, a lot of good we learn and good we know. And I say there are places where we come across some places in the wood where it got really thick and got really knotty, and so as for now, take the next steps to carve a little more worth into the figures now, make it so we're going to see a little more come out of their place, and then just make it so it's going to be as good as it can be. Do think that where we are now is probably a good place to stop. We'll say I'm going to stop this video in a little bit, upload what we have so far, but hopefully this series could be done in a day or two. I really don't know and really not sure. I have a show in Danville this weekend, so we don't know how it's going to turn out just yet. And as of all the times we're going to have, I know that there's people who watch my videos on YouTube, who see what I do, who see what I make, who see how far I've come along. I can't wait for you all to see my work, see all my business and all the things I'm making these days. And so when the time comes for you all to come on and see all I do, it'll be great to have you on there. Come on to see my work and see my ways and see all the good little, sweet little steps I take. I say things change so much that we don't know what they're going to be, but in the end, we'll see a lot of creativity, the best way we can see it to be. I thank you all for coming on and watching me carve away, and want to say that it'll be good for you to come on and have some little work to have on your mantles and shelves come Christmas Day. I thank you all for coming on to watch me now, and now I'm going to say goodbye.